I'm Glenn Zacher, and today we're exposing China's cozying up to Mark Carney, Alberta's fight for freedom, shady election results, and a bombshell deal with Trump that could change everything. Canadians, this is another wake-up call. Let's get to it. China's ambassador, Wang Di, went on CTV, stumbling through English, begging Canada to move on and work with Beijing, now that Mark Carney's PM. Forget their election meddling, detaining our citizens for 1,000 days, or executing Canadians for drug crimes. This is a slap in the face. Worse, Carney's old firm, Brookfield Asset Management, has $3 billion invested in China, including a $276 million loan from the Bank of China last year. Here's what China's ambassador had to say, and it's a doozy.
I can say it very clearly to you that China has never and does not have any interest in interfering in Canada's internal affairs.
We know that's not true, though. These guys meddle in all these by-elections because they want their pro-CCP guy in the government. Not only that, they were caught helping Mark Carney trying to win the election. Millions of views being pushed on WeChat trying to change the vote of the Chinese diaspora community in Canada. Turns out those Chinese diaspora community voted conservative because they were trying to get away from this, the Chinese communism they ran away from in China.
I think it is absolutely absurd and makes no sense to smear and attack China of interfering in other countries' internal affairs with all those kind of groundless and ambiguous excuses and pretexts.
No interest in interfering? Tell that to the Hogue inquiry, which named China the top meddler in our elections. They pushed Carney on WeChat to sway Chinese Canadian voters, and now he's PM. This isn't cooperation, it's a takeover. We need to force Chinese companies to sell off Canadian land and businesses. If we can't own property in China, they shouldn't own ours. Your sovereignty's at stake, folks.
The returns from China have really been poor recently. Basically, this entire decade. So I'm not so sure that that's a good investment on the part of anybody. And really what we're talking about is China gaining leverage with someone who's the prime minister of a NATO member and Five Eyes partner, and which just happens to share a very long border with the U.S.
Over here in Alberta, Premier Daniel Smith's got Ottawa sweating. After years of Liberal policies crushing the oil patch, Albertans are talking referendum. 52% of Canadians say it's a serious threat. Smith's using this to strong-arm Carney, especially after she scored tariff discounts from Trump, while the feds did nothing. The media is smearing her, whining about a $10,000 trip to meet Trump. But that trip saved Alberta jobs. Here's what they're saying about her leverage.
Well, we're going to find out pretty soon, because I think you're going to have more leverage than you would have ever had before. Because we can actually trigger the referendum for independence. So I think that they're going to come to the table understanding that there's a big threat here. And I really believe it's a legitimate threat. From the conversation I've had with everybody out there, I think this is a legitimate threat.
You were telling me you were going to hire a pollster to do some polling on this. I don't think you're going to need to. Everybody is polling on this issue right now because they're seeing that you've got a certain number of signatures on your website. So they're wanting to know what's going on here. And so there was another pollster who asked about the threat and how concerned people were about the separatist threat in Alberta versus Quebec. And 52% took it seriously when it came to Alberta, and 42% took it seriously when it came to Quebec. And so that gives you some idea about how nervous everyone are that the federal government may have just pushed things a little bit too far.
Alberta's not messing around. If Ottawa keeps ignoring the West, we're looking at a fractured country, skyrocketing energy costs, and a weaker dollar. Carney better listen, or your grocery bill and gas pump are going to feel the pain. Now, let's talk elections. 3 ridings, Terrebonne, Milton East, and Windsor, are facing recounts, with Liberals leading by as few as 12 votes. But Quebec's the real red flag. 2 to 3% of ballots rejected, way higher than the rest of Canada's under 1%. Are voters messing up, or are separatists trashing ballots to protest? Either way, it's your vote on the line. and Elections Canada owes you answers.
This is Quebec, a suburb of Montreal, this riding. Initially, election night results had the Liberal in the lead in this riding, but during the validation process, that's when Elections Canada goes through all the results to double check them. This riding then flipped to the Bloc by only 44 votes. So then that triggered an automatic judicial recount. We got the results late yesterday. One vote made the Liberal candidate the winner.
When votes are this close and ballots are tossed, you've got to wonder if your voice is being silenced. Demand a full audit. Your democracy's worth it. Finally, Donald Trump's hyping a truly earth-shattering deal with Carney. And it's not about trade. He's calling Carney talented, which raises my eyebrows. Could it be Arctic Defense, Keystone XL, or Trump's plan to slash U.S. drug prices by 30 to 80%, which might drain Canada's supply and spike your pharmacy bills? Whatever it is, it's aimed at helping America, not you.
The President has revitalized international security, revitalized NATO, and us playing our full weight in NATO, and that will be part of it.
And they have, I must say, Canada is stepping up the military participation because Mark knew, they were low and now they're stepping it up, and that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
Trump's announcements coming soon, and Carney's globalist track record doesn't inspire trust. If he cuts a deal that screws Canadians, your wallet's going to take a hit. Higher drug costs, weaker borders, you name it. China's got Carney on a leash. Alberta's ready to bolt. Our elections are shaky. And Trump's cooking up something big. This is about your money, your country, and your future. Don't let the Liberals and their media cronies fool you. Subscribe to It's Your Money, smash that thumbs up button, and share this video. Let's fight for Canada. I'm Glenn Zacher. See you next time.